Mr. Wissam Lota. Please. And Mr. Messal bin Hussein. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Thank you very much. So we will be discussing about smart cities and the role of cybersecurity in the development of smart city projects. So I suppose every information technology professional will say that unlike in other massive ICT scale projects, cybersecurity in smart city transformation programs is multidimensional, covering many industries, cybersecurity domains, diverse stakeholders, and of course the adversaries, the security threats. What we see increasing exponentially are the cybersecurity risks due to the massive exposure of rudimentary and unintelligent technologies such as sensors, home appliances, and street cameras to the hostile internet. Now, to aggravate the condition, a true smart city is geared towards connecting its energy, healthcare, transportation, public safety, and water management utilities in order to reignite economic growth, improve social cohesion, and achieve environmental sustainability. So today, to discuss the role of cybersecurity in smart city projects, we are pleased to be surrounded by two exceptional professionals. I will begin with a small bio of Mr. Wissam Lota. He has more than 14 years of experience in strategic leadership positions. A committed information technology professional in every aspect, Wissam has worked tirelessly for many years to develop innovative technology channels and Dubai smart government infrastructures to better the quality of public services for citizens, residents, visitors, and businesses in Dubai. He currently serves as the Assistant Director General at the Dubai Smart Government Department. Now, Mr. Messal bin Hussein, in his role as a member of the mobile government in the UAE, is leading several different developments, which will lead several different pillars, fundamental pillars, which will lead eventually in the development of a smart city in the UAE. And together with his wide experience in information security, he will contribute in the establishment of the necessary security practices that they will see that the smart cities will not be defenseless. So I would like to begin with Wissam. Wissam, perhaps with the definition, your definition of a smart city.
Well, in the beginning, I would like to first thank you for the kind introduction and thank everyone for staying and taking the time. And also I'd like to thank Du for inviting us to this event. Before I start talking about the smart city, I would like just to start with a small example. Just yesterday, actually last night, my daughter was telling me about how her friend had what seems to be a virus in her machine, and she was asking me what should she do and how she should protect her machine. And today I was thinking, that conversation that we just had yesterday about the laptop, very soon I'm going to be having about my watch. And maybe today I have a traditional watch, but very soon maybe it's going to be a smart watch. And you're not only going to be worried about your laptops and your mobile phone, it's going to be your watch and who knows, maybe your shoes next. So that's just what I wanted to share with you. So when it comes to smart city, there are many definitions about smart cities around the world. But what's important to us is, and what we're trying to achieve with the Vision of His Highness is basically comes down to improving the quality of life for the inhabitants of the city. And that's basically using the technologies, the information and communications infrastructure to deliver what you could say is a unique and personalized experience to the inhabitants of the city. So leveraging the technology, leveraging data, leveraging information to make sure that to deliver the best possible experience.
Very, very well. So, Messal, following the introduction of Wissam, how do you see the UAE evolving towards adopting the smart government concept? Where do we stand from the timeline provided by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed to the smart government transformation?
First of all, thank you for hosting me here, and thanks to Du for this great event I'm taking part in. We in M-Government, I'm part of the TRA, we are thrilled actually with all the different projects we're working on, national-wide projects, all that will lead to the smart government, and of course, it will all match the smart cities. In smart government, ever since His Highness launched the initiative, we have been working towards great initiatives that will change the way government services are provided. Services will no longer be requested within the entities, but they'll be delivered to your smartphone. And all of that requires major redefining of all the different processes, all the different integration that's going to be done in the back end. And of course, all of that is to make the end user or customer very happy.
Yeah.
For example, if we talk about traditional services, we used to run around government agencies to apply for visas, to renew passports, registrations. All of that very soon will be done through your mobile application. It will be like a one-stop shop where you apply for the service and get it in your mailbox in the next few days.
You're right. That's very, very nice to know for all the expats, for instance.
And locals and residents, yes. So we are working on different projects.
Yes.
All of these projects will contribute towards the deadline. And what we've seen is that the journey towards a smart city does not end in 2015 or 2016.
Yes.
But it's an ongoing, continuous initiatives and projects that will lead to probably the Expo and contribute to the 2021
Precisely,
agenda.
precisely. I mean, the Rome was not built in one day.
Exactly.
Messal, Wissam, terribly sorry. Is that in line with, or is there any clear association with the plans towards Expo 2020?
Yes, of course. But before I answer this, I'd like just to give you everyone sort of a brief overview of what has been done so far.
Please.
And maybe also what's here in the future. So, as you know, when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed launched and announced the Smart Government Initiative last year, in May of last year, all the government entities, responded very quickly. We understood that the initial phases, we needed to focus initially on strategic planning and also policy setting, and ensuring that there is a very strong governance to the entire initiative. So right from the beginning, we tried to make sure that all these, the definition of a smart service is very clear to everyone. Setting policies that define what is the minimum level of quality that's required when it comes. It wasn't just the idea of just moving services, as my colleague just said. It's not just moving services to the mobile. It's about redefining and reimagining how the service should be delivered, taking sort of ideas from being, leveraging what the mobile device can do. So being in context, being personalized. So that was very important. We also wanted to make sure that there's a governance and making sure that the initiatives that each of the government entities are well coordinated. So with this, we introduced an advisory board that was tasked by putting the strategy for this initiative and also looking at and monitoring the progress as we move forward. And finally comes the sort of the execution phase. And it wasn't, of course, it's not a big bang approach, but it's sort of an iteration. As we move forward, as my colleague also said, we are sort of in a race with no end. In May 2015 is a big milestone for us. We're looking at, completing the first phase, which is what we call the M-enablement, our mobile enablement of services. But then we continue from there to also trying to achieve a higher level of service by delivering the connected government approach
Yeah.
and the integrated services.
The interconnectivity, I mean, we were discussing.
So all of this is trying to deliver this unique set of services or unique personalized services, and I believe that's what Expo 2020 is also trying to do. With millions of visitors coming to Dubai, we're trying to deliver to them the best possible experience, and the government plays a big role in that.
Yes, yes. Mesal, are we opening Pandora's box from a cybersecurity point of view with that much interconnectivity, with legacy protocols, with all the traditional security controls that we are currently applying on our networks? Are we actually up for a considerable hazard?
Let me talk about one of the initiatives I've been working on personally for the last year, which is trying to tackle the issue of having sensitive data traverse your mobile handset and back to the back end or to the databases where it's residing. So what we did is, in the M-Government, is we've established a unique facility, which is called the UAE M-Government Center of Digital Innovation. One of the services we provide there is actual mobile app testing, where we do rigorous testing on security, performance, load, functional, to ensure that the new era or the new techniques of providing services are not prone to the legacy weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So we've noticed that, yes, there are some new techniques out there. Our new vulnerabilities only catered for mobile applications and mobile coding. With that, we're trying to raise the level of awareness, introduce and encourage secure coding into mobile applications. And of course, all this will expand once we go into smart cities with the interconnections, with the integration. We should not actually rely on the legacy protocols, which we all know that there are weaknesses in, but focus on, as mentioned earlier by a distinguished speaker, focus on encryption between the different interconnected devices, focus on multi-layered authentication, and probably even come up with proprietary protocols.
So something new, something novel.
Something novel, yes.
Something novel, yes.
That will align with the smartness of the...
I understand.
technology.
Wissam, do you agree with that position, meaning that should we avoid reinventing the wheel and simply augment what we have over there, or we should start from scratch and develop new tactics and new practices to...
I think the answer is politically yes and no. So it's not just, we obviously have to look at what others have done. You know, as you say, you stand on the shoulders of giants, and you pick up where people have left off.
Oh, that's very nice.
And you benchmark, you look at what others have done, take their success, and maybe also learn from the failures. But I think with the smart city, the whole idea of the smart city, it requires that you have a secure and robust infrastructure, information and communications infrastructure. And it will also mandate and necessitate sort of a significant and proportional investment in security to be able to have a sustainable success. The thing with the smart city and trying to be number one is that inevitably you will be using new cutting-edge technologies. You will be doing something that has not been done before. And in that sense, that brings a whole set of new possible threats and also an additional layer of complexity. And this is where you have to do something which is different. You know, maybe you'll be, in some cases, need to do something very different than what others have done. I think, you know, in the future, the smart city of the future, the administrators, as we've heard many examples, it's not just, you know, physical security anymore that they need to deal with, but also the cyber and information security. And that requires a set of new skills that maybe not all city administrators have. And that's also an area of focus.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, we tend to neglect the physical security part of it. And that, I suppose, is simply because, I mean, there is a piecemeal approach on when we are actually applying security on our networks. We do that on different levels, I mean, until we create a framework. Do you believe, is it your opinion, Mesal, that we need to create a centralized framework from a security point of view based on best practices which has been applied in other smart cities, such as Barcelona, for instance, or The Hague? Or do we need to have a more discrete and distinctive approach in several different fields, more as opposed to less? For instance, should physical security be equalized with the logical security? Do we need to integrate everything in one framework?
I mean, basically, if you talk about smart cities, it's a city where all information will be traversing and moving between sensors and centralized databases. So yes, I mean, we have to leverage on the current frameworks and standards, which were presented earlier. But also, they need to evolve to make sure that we cover all the aspects of technologies and information. It will still be information-centric, but information will be coming in from all different devices, which is called now the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Those will have to be controlled at the device level to make sure that they are not tampered with. The information that's been collected is actually integrity hasn't been played with. So all of these, I mean, all controls have to be in place to make sure that all of those devices and or the Internet of Things is properly governed in the future.
Right. So how do we go about protecting our smart city? Practically speaking, I mean, we do have now the pillars. I mean, we were discussing earlier with Masar about the mobile government. What else is there that we need to employ in order to protect our smart city? Wissam.
Just to kind of to recap on what my colleague said, in Dubai, we started quite early with the e-government initiatives and all of this. And back in 2012, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, the chairman of the executive committee, actually signed or approved a decree for the information security resolution that mandated to have sort of an integrated strategy for security across the whole government. And that's also in line with the National Electronic Security Authority's strategy. So with this sort of standard, when we were about to create the standard, we also looked at all of the internationally recognized best practices in the field and put them sort of in the context of Dubai. So this is one of the sort of the very basic steps that need to be done, is to have an integrated strategy across the different entities and making sure that there is a standard that you benchmark against. Because, as you understand, if you don't have a measuring stick, you cannot really understand where you are in this spectrum.
I understand. So as we are progressing towards the smart era, how are the related cybersecurity laws, so the regulators' role in that equation, are reflected to address the upcoming security challenges? I mean, there were initiatives, the latest information security regulation in Dubai, for instance. I mean, we have the AD6 standards. I mean, the regulator is actually coping with the progression, the acceleration of technology. What is the role of the regulator? Should... please.
Yeah, so one of the things that maybe I would like to mention is that with the smart city, there are, and the new strategy for smart government, one of the main pillars that we understand, recognize that it's the use of data, that the information is an asset that maybe can be further utilized by other entities in the government or even the private sector or the public. And there have been many sort of successful examples around the world with government opening data and utilizing, sort of crowdsourcing ideas to build solutions. So this is one area that maybe legislation has not yet addressed adequately. So this is an opportunity for us here in Dubai, in the UAE, is actually to put together the right framework whereby we ensure that the sort of the disclosure of information is done in a controlled and in a legitimate manner, so that information of the city, of the individuals is well protected, but we still are able to leverage sort of the innovation and the potential that's there, whether it's students in academia or in the private sector. There's a lot of information that government has, or the private sector, telecom has, that can be leveraged. It can be anonymized, it can be sanitized, so to speak, and then shared amongst many entities. This is kind of critical, we understand, also for future planning, strategic planning, without having accurate information about population, about transport, it's very difficult to plan the future.
Right, right.
So this is one of the areas that sort of the legal framework needs to be
Right. Yes, yes, I agree. Ms. Allen, the same topic. Do you think that the regulator or the legislator has to become more aware about the massive size of the smart city projects in order to be properly create bills or regulations or standards which are going to be more applicable to that, or they still have to become, or they still have to remain as agnostic as they were in principle for the cyberspace?
I mean, we all know that the government's role here is like a policymakers when it comes to governance. But here in the UAE, we're blessed because all of those different initiatives, we're all aligned and we work together in each step of the way. And we all agree that cybersecurity or security controls have to be built by design. So when we're building those projects, security is an essential part from the design phase. Now, over that, once we start creating those projects and they start to articulate, then of course comes the frameworks, which have to be, of course, reviewed, revisited, because currently, as you said, it's kind of agnostic, and it depends on
it's very broad.
What area we're talking about. But when we move to the smart government and smart cities, and once we concentrate on the information, I think that those legislations and framework have to concentrate on the actual dealing with information, how they're dealt, how they're classified, who is given access to it.
Yes.
So on a central level, I think that is possible with the alignment and collaboration of all the agencies and governments in the UAE.
Right, right. Very, very well. Now, I would like to open, since we don't have much time, and I suppose this is a very interesting topic, I would like to open the panel to the rest of the room in order to have an interactive session about perhaps information that you would like to find out about the progression and the status of the mobile government and the smart government here in the UAE. So who would like to start first? Is there anything you believe that we need to explore further? I mean, this is a highly interesting topic in a sense that it will affect us as citizens, either living here or in another. Oh yes, I'm terribly sorry.
Hi, good afternoon. It's a very wonderful topic that you come out with. One thing is, we all grown up in childhood days, we have topic called moral science. Okay, depend upon the environment over us at that particular point of time. But now the child is born with an iPad or some other electronic device with that. Are we planning, because we are talking about smart cities, are we planning about having this as a compulsory subject from the grade 5 or grade 6 onwards for the kids, because they are the people who are going to rule the future of us?
Wissam?
Yeah, I think as far as whether education will start at that age or not, I'm not quite sure, but there have been many initiatives at the federal level for smart education, where the technology is brought into the classroom, whether to help the teachers, all the students to learn. You can, today, I think with the collaboration between the Ministry of Education and the telecom operators here, they have implemented a smart education program in many of the schools today. I don't think that, specifically that we need to teach, kindergartens how to use the iPad. They already probably know more than us. But utilizing the technology in the most effective way, that's, I think, is necessary.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to check it out. It's because when we teach the moral science, it's about you use whatever you want, but in a controlled fashion, right? That's how the moral science is taught us in order for us to reach up to this position in the organization. Anyway, similarly, maybe the cyber, can we use as a moral science kind of stuff for the future generations?
I'd just like to highlight a couple of initiatives alongside my colleague, what he already mentioned, is yes, we have an initiative called Smart Learning, which is basically using smart classrooms and smart devices to convey all the curriculum in a smart manner and educate the students as well as the parents on that area. Also, when it comes to cyber security, the TRA launched a cyber security curriculum 3 years ago, and that's been taught across all levels and grades, starting from year 1 up to year 12. And they focus on all aspects of cyber threats and ways that you can protect yourself online. And it also engages the parents with the students. And so that it's creating like a live ecosystem. And you touched upon one important point here, is that the human factor. I mean, we can go and build those smart cities and robust and resilient cities, but we will only be as strong as our weakest link. And currently, the weakest link is the human factor. So once we start educating the citizens and come up with smart citizens, as you can say, then they can elevate their capabilities and use those smart services and smart facilities. Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much. We have time for one more question. I suppose that there was... Yes, of course.
Hi, my name is Araf Al-Hamadi from Khalifa University. In the universities, we work on smart campuses. And smart campuses, also there were conferences on smart conferences that recently came to the UAE. To what extent you're going to have a distributed system where every entity, like higher education, school system, will have a smart system within the campus or within the education system, and then that can need to be integrated to smart hospitals, to what extent are you going to distribute the problem to the different categories that we have here in the country? Did my question you understand my question?
I'll try to answer it, and you can let me know if that's the right answer. I can answer specifically about Dubai and how we operate. So one of the key things in Dubai is that we try to balance between centralization and decentralization. So when it comes to shared services and common infrastructure, that is centralized. And when it comes to the core business of each entity, that is left to them to innovate and to take further. So if you look at the 30 or 40 government entities in Dubai, they all share a common infrastructure, common backend, but their front-end systems and services, they're delivered from those entities directly. So you could say there is a balance between centralization and decentralization.
Ms. Ali, would you like to perhaps...
Yes, we're actually working with stakeholders here on, with regards to the different sectors. So with the different ministries, for example, health and education, we're trying to expand our capability within the Center of Digital Innovation that I was speaking about earlier, to create that ecosystem of having involved the students, remotely training them through distance learning technologies, and to make sure that all of the population reaches a level of IT literacy through those different material, content, curriculum, and technologies. So as a government, we're working alongside all those stakeholders to elevate the capabilities on that.
Right. So, and with that, we will have to leave it there, I suppose. I would like to thank you very, very much for joining us and then sharing your thoughts and experience. And I would like to thank everyone in the audience for your interest and the questions that you have posed to our guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you.